I used to drown in PPC problems, fixing bids, tweaking campaigns, yet nothing seemed to work. Then I realized I was trying to fix everything at once, which made things even worse because I didn't know what worked and what did not. If you feel stuck, this 3-step framework will help you get better results while maintaining still control. Hey, and welcome back to the channel. This is Noemi, co-founder of ScaleWave. Today's topic is really top of mind because I was struggling so much to figure out what is working and what not. PPC is just the 1% that is going to maximize whatever works well and whatever does not. So by the end of this video, you're going to learn the 3-step process that we are applying within our agency to help other brands also grow. And this is something that I learned via investing thousands of hours, millions of ad spend, until figured out exactly this framework. Step 1, stop trying to fix everything at once. The biggest mistake in PPC is treating every campaign equally and trying to fix everything at once. Why is this a problem? Most of the time what I'm seeing is advertisers are trying to do all things at once, meaning they're going to increase budgets on all campaigns, they are going to optimize bids on all their targets, when in fact what is going to happen is that you've did a lot of movements, constant tweaking, and not really knowing or pinpointing what works and what does not. And the results of this is half-solved problems, wasted ad spend, and lack of strategic thinking. So in order to fix this, we want to prioritize which is the biggest thing that is going to move the needle. Instead of trying to fix everything at once, you can ask yourself, is my account structured for scale? You would not believe so many brands are coming to us and they are trying to fix a non-PPC issue with PPC, which means basically if they don't have inventory for the product, if the product has a lower than 4 rating, whatever we would do, we would just maximize whatever right now it's working within the account. And especially if something is not working, we would maximize what is not working because PPC is just bringing additional eyeballs. So once that we understand the non-PPC factors, the PPC factors are going to be, do I have clarity when it comes to I'm opening up my ad console? Do I clearly see my campaign naming structure, or is it a mess of overlapping campaigns? What is the biggest bottleneck for these campaigns? Do I have any budget limits? Is the ACoS high? Do I have any new campaigns that I created based on this campaign? Or even do I actually know which is the best performing keyword within this campaign? Knowing the answer is going to help you crucially go to the next step, which is which campaigns need scaling. One of the most common mistakes I'm seeing when it comes down to advertising is whoever is going to run the account, they are going to look into how to stop bleeding. While I totally understand the concept, hear me out. Now we are in a scaling mindset. So whatever works already well, we would want to duplicate that first so we can duplicate the results for what works well. So now that we have a better understanding what is your most profitable campaign, step 2, build your skills on reps. Scaling PPC successfully isn't about talent, it's about doing the reps. Keep in mind, for 15 years, I was a music producer. So if I can learn all those steps, mainly I'm thinking very creatively and can teach you right now in this video on how to think strategically, trust me that this comes just by doing more reps. Most advertisers might believe that they are bad at PPC at first, but this just comes from reps and not time. The quicker you iterate, the faster you're going to learn what works and what doesn't, and most importantly, how to replicate success. Every campaign that you're going to optimize, every discovery campaign that you're going to create, every ranking campaign, every dominate campaign is just one more additional rep to see what works and what does not. So as action plan here, first off, that now we tracked whatever it worked well, we want to double down on what already works. So we would identify winning campaigns and then we would notice what makes them work. Is it the keyword? Do we rank organically for the keyword? Is it the bidding placement? Do we rank higher on a specific placement that makes the campaign work? Is it the frequency of how often you're optimizing the campaign? Is it the frequency of how often you're negating keywords? What we're looking for really is understanding patterns. What was the pattern that generated that winning campaign? Then we will look at campaigns that are wasting money. Which are the campaigns that consistently generated spend but did not generate any result? Then once that we identified these two groups, we would look into the campaigns that work well for us and see, is there a chance for us to increase budgets? So here what we would do an incremental increase. Maybe today we increase by 25%, tomorrow we're coming back and see what were these results. If the results were positive, maybe we're increasing 25%. The magic word here is incremental. So just because yesterday the campaign worked really well for you, there's no proof for you that tomorrow with a higher budget it's going to perform better. So we have to be strategic when it comes down to how do we move into the next steps. Very important for us is to understand how can we replicate whatever worked well and how not to be overconfident of what the outcome is going to be. So here, if it's needed, maybe it's bid adjustments, maybe it's negation, maybe just seeing like what is going on now that the campaign has a higher budget. It's going to give us the opportunity to understand what is working and how can we replicate success. And here I'm remembering it took me hours and even weeks to understand what is working and what is not working within an account whenever I started ads. And that is just because I was watching these videos of tactical tips on how to do this, how to set up something, how to create something. But what I lacked really is strategic thinking. And the purpose of this video is exactly that, ensuring that you're understanding how to think like a strategist and not only as a follower. And now, after 1,000 hours of reps, I can look confidently within an account and quickly spot patterns. That's really the magic behind it. One of the most important takeaways that it was hard for me to understand is really understanding that it is a skill set. The only way you can really build skills here is being consistent and doing those reps and create new campaigns and optimize and tweak. Hey guys, real quick, this channel grows only once you share it. No ads, no fancy tricks, just word of mouth. So if anything connects with you or it might help someone you know, text it, DM it, post it, whatever feels right. Thanks so much. Step 3, scale in focus sprints and not all at once. As I was mentioning at the beginning of the video, literally I was burned out of doing all these things at the same time, and I didn't know, first off, what worked, what didn't work, and I wasn't able to replicate success. So whenever you would scale an account, you would have to do it in sprints and test for a week, 2 weeks, maybe depending on the strategy that you applied to the account to see what works, and then build on top of that. Because honestly, maybe that actually it worked really well for you if you try to scale all campaigns at once, but then the question is, how can you replicate success? Are you sure exactly on how you did it, what you did, or was it that you just got lucky and then you're not able to figure it out what actually made the campaign successful? What I've seen so far, and as a perfectionist was super hard for me to accept it, growth comes from solving the one main problem, and then once that main problem is being solved, you will see that also the smaller problems are going to solve themselves just because you focus on the right things. Prioritization is very crucial when it comes to Amazon. So understanding the fact that if you're going to have an impact on the highest spending or the highest sales bringing campaign, that can be duplicated very quickly for an account. So focus screens in this case is going to help you create urgency and prioritization rather than trying to focus all problems. Think of it this way. Whenever you are focusing on the one thing, that's the only thing that you're going to see. If you're focusing on 5 things at the same time, besides the fact that you don't know exactly what worked, what didn't, it's going to be very hard for you to also prove with data that actually this is what we are doing and that's what we're tracking and that's the outcome of it. So based on that, here is the PPC sprint scaling strategy. Create a quick list of the 3 to 5 problems that you think that could be the biggest bottlenecks for your account. Step 2, you are going to focus on one priority at a time until it is fully solved. So for example, if it's an ACoS problem, you would first fix your ACoS before increasing the spend. Step 3, we would set a time limit for each change. For example, if we set our target to lower our ACoS, we would allow at least 1 week to see the results. And then step 4, we would measure the impact before moving on. If the expected outcome did not occur, if your ACoS didn't go down, then we would tweak and refine what actually changed during the 1 week. Because what could happen is during that process, it's not only you lower their bid, but also you might show up in a different placement. So really important here is that we want to understand exactly what we did and what was the outcome, because Amazon is not static. So your ads might show up in a different placement that did not convert it as expected. So in summary, stop focusing on everything at once, but rather focus on high impact campaigns first. 2, build your PPC skills through reps. More bids that you're going to optimize, more campaigns you're going to create, the smarter you get. 3, scale in focus sprints. Growth happens in well-balanced step-by-step execution and not a chaotic environment. A question for you, which of these strategies you're not yet applying and it's keeping you stuck? Drop a comment below and let's troubleshoot together. If you found value in this video, be sure to smash the like button. Take care, ciao!